Hi, my name is Edward James Carey. Welcome to Praxis Living, where I create content to help you create the life that you desire. Welcome to session 3. Today is Tuesday, August 1st. We're starting a brand new month, and this is the next day and the next step in my $1 million journey. I am documenting every day in the process of taking a trading balance of $50,000 to over $1 million. And I'm intending to do it in 5 months. Now, if you're watching and following along, I want to thank you. If you're subscribing to the channel, I want to thank you for the support as well. I also want to let you know that if you're intending to look at these videos as instructional guides, that's fine, but you need to know right now that I'm not a financial broker. I'm not a financial advisor. These videos are not designed in order to tell you how to manage your money. They are intended specifically to document my personal journey and to provide entertainment as well as information in case that you want to explore something like this for yourself. That's the main reason that I'm creating these videos. I want to be able to take you in detail, day by day, into how I am actively creating multiplication in my own finances and how I'm demonstrating that I am the ruler and king of my finances. God be praised, He's providing the increase, but I'm the steward. I'm the one that makes the active decisions day to day. So we are a couple of moments away from the market. I'm going to take a short break and then I will be right back and we will get into the activity of today. All right, we are back and we are 1 moment away from the markets opening today. So let's go straight to the market. And as you can see, I'm set up to trade again today in shares of AI. I am hoping that today is a fantastic Tuesday. I just want to let you know in advance, the past 2 Tuesdays in a row, I've been able to exceed $1,000 in a single day. And I am hoping that I can maintain that record today. So I am getting set up for the first trade of my day. I want to take advantage of morning volatility. I'm hoping to see, I'm thinking that I'm going to see a steep drop this morning, a sellout, because we closed the day yesterday at $42. And I already noticed that in pre-market, it was already down to almost $41 again. So we're going to see what happens in the morning. We're open now and we're live and activity is occurring. I'm going to look for an opportunity to make an early morning trade. I'm not seeing a lot of strong volume first thing in the morning here. 15,000. All right, starting to decline, starting to drop now, down below $41. Strong upwards buying pressure. Normally on shares of AI, I've noticed that there is usually an early morning drop like we're seeing right now, followed by a really quick rally up. And that's where I like to try to catch at least the first trade of my day. As you can see right now, the shares are dropping. They're dropping pretty quick. They're down to $40.77. Any more people letting go of these shares today? Yep. All right, I'm going to buy right here. Oops, I didn't have my gun loaded. Okay, so there I'm in the market now. And I'm in for 250 shares at $40.90. right? As you can see, I still have an open order of 250 shares from a few days ago at 42.67. So I'm going to see if these first 250 shares pay off. Now, I was really late on that buy there because I wasn't loaded up and ready. That's one of the things with Wealthsimple that you need to understand. It's a kind of, when you go to execute a buy or a sell, you have to go through like a couple of menu screens. And as you saw, the very 1 or 2 seconds that it takes you to go through those screens could cost you because things change very, very quickly in volatility. Now I'm seeing very strong downward sell pressure against the buy volume today. I started with 250 shares just to see if it drops a little bit more. I'll add probably another 250 shares if that happens. Otherwise, I'm just going to hold on to these 250 and I'm going to see what I can make on them on a quick sell. So once again, I paid $40.90. So if I'm going to sell these, let's say 41.20 would be something that I was looking for. Anything above 41.20. Now I'm not seeing a very quick, rapid escalation up, and that's okay. It doesn't happen every morning. Today, in light of yesterday's activity, we really pressed high on the average cost of shares of AI. So I'm not surprised that it's playing down in the $41 space again today. Now we are almost up to where I would hope to sell these at 41.20. So let me load this sell up, and I'm ready on the button, on the trigger, but I want to see how high it goes. Okay, we're at 41.24. Oh, I missed an opportunity to sell right there, and now we're getting another drop. We're getting another sell-off. So I will convert to a buy, get ready for 250 more shares. And see what happens here. Now, we only really dropped right back to where I last purchased my 250 shares, and I don't want to double down at the same cost. If I'm going to add another 250 shares and double my position, I want to see a significant drop below where I last purchased at $40.90. And the reason for that is called dollar cost averaging, which I'll explain as time goes on. But right now, even though it's down, it's back down to $40.90. So it seems to be holding so far at $40.90, which is where I bought. So I'm going to convert back to a sell. And I'm going to set my goal again, my target at 41.20. 250 shares. Load this up and get it ready to sell. All right. And let's see if we want to rally up this morning. $41.10. Here we go, 41.22, 41.25, finger on the trigger. Let's see if it actually goes up this time instead of somebody nerfing that upward growth. Sometimes these early morning speaks, okay, I'm gonna sell right there. I've closed my position. Okay, so I've closed at 41.20, which is what I wanted. Now, as you can see, it's going up, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm going to log my 41.20, and let's do a quick calculation here. Okay, so I am up $75 for the day so far on one trade. And I'm moving on. Could have caught a little bit more there, I see, but first thing in the morning is very, very finicky, and I haven't figured everything out regarding the morning activity. I know that usually it spikes up a little bit and then it usually drops down again quite significantly. And if you're quick, like I just demonstrated, if you get in and out, then you can rinse and repeat, and hopefully you can catch a second trade of the early morning, which I'm now going to load up to do. I'm going to set up another 250 share buy, just in case that we decline a little bit. Again, we are 8 minutes into the market today. I do not want to commit to buying on an upward trend. I have a bad habit of doing that, and I end up getting my money held in my transactions because I don't have the patience to wait to catch it on a bottom run. So again, one of the reasons of these videos is to allow you a window into my every moment emotional state, what's going on in my mind. I try to share in transparency everything that I'm thinking about, everything that I'm feeling, all the emotional stuff that I'm going through, in addition to making money. You know, that's important as well. I'm here to demonstrate that. Okay, I see a drop coming again. Some downward pressure. Let's see. The market is still very undecided so far. We're still hovering around 41.24. Now, as you can see, the market yesterday, we closed at $42, 42.01. So we're already down to 41.30 from yesterday's close. You see how fast things can change. If I had held shares from yesterday over to today, I would already be in a negative position, trying to wait to get back up just to break even. So I'm fortunate, I'm glad that I'm not in that position today. That's why I'm trying to switch my habits and routines from getting my money in the market and getting my money out of the market in the same day so that I can approach each new day clean. Okay, we are on a strong bull run here. I don't normally do this, but I saw that huge green spike there and I just couldn't resist. So 42.80, what did I just buy at? 41.79. We'll see if I get stuck with these. Okay. There's 250 shares there again at 41.79. When I saw rapid activity like that green bar that you see, sometimes that can just keep going and not stop. So I took a risk there. 250 shares at 41.79. I'm not terribly concerned with that, because if it does not continue to trend up and it comes back down, then I will employ dollar cost averaging and I will buy more shares. And what will end up happening is I will buy another round of, say, 250 shares. I'll buy them at a lower price so that overall, the total cost on all 500 shares is not as expensive as my first buy-in. I'll get an average, and then it will be easier to sell all 500 shares at a profit without having to really exceed the price of my first buy-in. That's how dollar cost averaging works. And as you can see here right now, this steep red drop, we're coming all the way back down again to 41.50, 41.40 range. Let me double check again. I bought in at 41.79. So we got a ways to drop before I try to employ dollar cost averaging. But if it happens, when it happens, I will explain every detail of that process that's going on. In the meantime, right now, I'm looking to see if this red sell-off was just an initial reaction to that green spike. You know, I'm not the only one day trading these stocks. That could have been somebody just selling off. They saw that huge win right there and then sold off. In fact, that could be the woman who's training me. She's probably in the market taking advantage of that right now. I'll hear about it if that's the case. You know who you are. I'm keeping my eyes open for another opportunity to potentially dollar cost average. Now, this being said, I don't want to be too quick today on dollar cost averaging because I know for a fact that before everything is said and done in the next 2 to 3 hours, this activity in the green going up is likely to subside, and we are likely to spend quite a bit of time sliding down. And if I am going to double down with another 250 shares, I want to make sure that I'm catching those shares probably around $38 or even less. Okay, so that first buy-in of $41.79, I mean, that's just speculative. I'm going to convert that to a sell now that I see the market approaching that level again. And I bought for $41.79, so I'm going to set this up for 42, let's say 42.09. See if I can make 30 cents a share on these. I'm going to get this sell limit set up, 42.09. And I'm going to try to close it manually in case it rides way past 42.09. Okay, we are about to, it looks like it's about to potentially pass the last peak of 41.80. And if it continues to pass that peak and project up, we'll see if I make a profit on a second trade here before things turn the other direction. It did pass the previous peak, but it looks like there's a strong sell pressure still. Looks like it's trying to go. Still getting a lot of resistance from sellers though. I'm kind of sad that I mistimed that last buy-in at 41.79. I got in so high. I literally got in after the activity, and that's not the best time to get in. Clearly. All right, 41.82. Let's go higher. Still getting strong sell pressure this morning. I want to see if I can make a profit on this trade before I move on with the rest of my day, even if it's just a small profit. But you know, if there's not enough volume, if there's not enough buyers to push it up past 42.09, then I'll roll it into a later trade in the day. Just in case you're wondering, the music today is coming from Harris Heller, Stream Beats. This guy is one of the most fantastic content creators on the planet, in my opinion. His generosity to make license-free music for people like me who want to create live streams is just absolutely fantastic. I don't have to create my own music. I don't have to worry about royalties. I don't have to worry about licensing. He basically makes this music and provides it to anyone wanting to do a content creation live stream. And he calls them Stream Beats. Thank you, Harris Heller. Big shout out to you. You the man of music. All right, so I'm seeing some seesawing up and down, up and down, up and down. Again, we're back down to 41.48. I'm going to remain hopeful that I might get a sharp spike run up here and sell off at 42.09 or above. And that's fine. I'm not looking for a huge win on this one trade. I'm looking for another reasonable profit that I can add to my success for today, just to set up myself a little bit of foundation. Because the best part of the day, I believe, is yet to come. Now, one of two things is going to happen. We are going to shoot up past 42.09 and I will close my position, or later in the day, I will have to employ dollar cost averaging, which I'm waiting to show you in detail. And I will simply add more shares to drop my initial price of 41.79 on those first 250 shares down, get a total combined dollar cost average of all of the shares that I purchased, and then sell those later in the day at a profit for all of them. So far, a little bit of indecisiveness. Again, this morning volume, I'm looking at the morning volume and we're at 550,000 shares. And again, that seems really low for morning volume to me. We're already 20 minutes in to the day and just 500,000 shares. Today looks like a slow day for trading AI shares. Now, I'll take this moment just to show you a little bit over here. I can take that off right now. As you noticed, you may have noticed, I still have an open limit sell for 250 shares at $42.87. As you can see, we're not there right now. So I'm still holding on to these shares because I bought these shares at $42.67. So again, I bought them quite high and I'm waiting for that position to close just to see if I can make a small profit on recovering that capital. And I thought that today might be that day, seeing that we closed at $42 yesterday. I thought today might be easy to get back up to $43. And that remains to be seen in the day here. So in the meantime, I'm not sweating bullets about that. I'm waiting patiently for the share value to go back up to $43 and close that position to recover that portion of my capital. But in the meantime, that was in the past. I have it set at limit to sell whenever the market goes back up there. In the meantime, I'm just looking to take what capital I have and make profit on that capital each and every day. Now at this point, I'm looking at the market activity and we're seesawing up and down, and there's not a lot of actual volatility occurring regarding buy and entry points. I still am holding on to 250 shares at a buy value of $41.79. We're only down to $41.19. There is no way that I'm dollar cost averaging this early in the day. Okay, here we go. Now we're starting to decline a little bit more. I'm going to sit here and hang for another few minutes with you guys, and I'm going to watch till around 7 o'clock or so. I'm going to see what happens in the market. If we are starting to set up a downward slide today, then I will happily wait that out. Because at the bottom of that slide, I fully intend to load up my guns with new shares and then make a small fortune today over the total day. Typically what happens, as you may have observed yesterday, is there is a period where the share value slides down quite low and then eventually bottoms out and turns around. And on an average day for shares of AI, on an average day, not every day, but on an average day, it will bottom out at some point early in the morning, and then it will start to slowly climb higher and higher and higher throughout the day. And sometimes the difference between the low point and the high point can be well over $1, sometimes over $2 per share. So today I want to find that low point, and I want to load up with maybe as much as 500 shares. And then I want to ride it all the way back up. That'll be 500 additional shares, by the way, in addition to the 250 that I already purchased, giving me a total of at least 750 shares. But I'm saying too much about things that haven't happened yet, so let's just wait that out. Right now, we've crossed back down below $41. Volume is up to 2.4 million shares on the day, 654. And here we go, we're continuing a downward trend. Just in case you're wondering why I'm not chomping at the bit to buy right now, it's because I know by experience that just because this looks like a valid buying opportunity doesn't necessarily mean that it is. See, even right now, you see that green bar? I'm normally tempted to buy right now, seeing that turnaround on that green bar. Maybe this will pay off, but it's usually just a green bar of buy indicator on a continuing downtrend. And I've gotten money held in trades so many times in the past 2 to 3 weeks that I'm used to seeing this kind of activity first thing in the morning. It looks like an opportunity to buy. So let me do this. Let me buy 100 shares. I don't want to deploy too much capital. Just in case it is going to go back up, I'll commit to purchasing 100 shares. All right, and I'll log that down. Again, I don't want to commit too many. I bought those at 41.09, okay? So one of the reasons I'm doing this is just to allow you to watch, okay? Like I said, I normally buy in those positions, and I did that again right now with a small round of shares, 100 shares, just in case that was the start of an upward trend. I don't think that it is, personally, but I wanted to get something on the books, on the record, so that you watching, you can understand where I'm coming from. As I said, I think that green bounce back was just an anomaly in an otherwise continuing downward trend. And a little bit of time is now going to reveal whether that's the case. Now, if it turns out that it's not, and it starts going back up, I'm going to make a small profit on a lot of 100 shares. And purchasing at 41.09, I would expect to sell those for at least 25 cents on the share. So we're looking at least 41.34 to get out of that position. Minimum 41.34. Let me set up a potential limit sell of 41.34 to get out of the position I just bought at 100 shares. Just in case it climbs back up and hits 41.34, I don't want to miss that. Looks like it might be turning around again. In any case, I can see right now that the market is beginning to go sideways. It's not going up, it's not going down, it's just seesawing back and forth, and it's literally moving sideways, flat. Now, things are not over yet. We're still at 6:58. There's usually another round of heavy activity between 7 a.m. and 7:30 a.m. But it could be going up or it could be going down. There's no way to tell until it actually occurs. Now, another thing that I would like to point out here is that when I purchased these new 100 shares at $41.34, it changed the cost of the previous shares that I bought at $41.79. It won't have changed it by much, but it will have lowered it just a little bit. I'm not terribly concerned about it. I'm just pointing it out as to how dollar cost averaging tends to work. All right, I see a sell-off again. Are we going to pass the previous lower bottoms on this downward cycle? Yes or no? So close. So close. It looks like there's a little bit of bottom resistance going on right around $40.87 or so. Here we come back up, 41.05. Now, if you're watching along, you can see how fast things tend to turn around, up and down, up and down. And this is just something I'm getting used to every day. Okay, here we go. We're on, looks like it's rallying up a bit. 41.11. I've got a potential sell to close this 100 shares at 41.34 to see if I can catch 25 cents per share on that. And if I close that, that's $25. I mean, $25 is $25. And for just a tiny play, that just gets added to the balance if I'm successful in closing it. And I just add it to the day of wins and I move on. Sometimes my overall day total is based on a series of small wins, but I'm always looking for those big, huge, fat, juicy wins as well. I really need to get into that mode and that mindset and that mentality of capturing those big, huge plays, which typically happen once, maybe twice in a day, in an entire trading day. So far I see it, even though it's continuing to drop back and forth, up and down, it still is not going down past $40.87. It's also not going up to where I need to sell it off, but you know, there's two things happening that I'm paying attention to. I'm paying attention to the bottom resistance to see if it's going to push past previous bottoms to indicate that it's going down, or I'm waiting for an inevitable uptrend, which looks like we might be in right now. It's still too early to tell. If we are in an uptrend, I'm going to close my position at a profit and move on with my win. If the market, however, continues to just continue going sideways, then I'm likely to do nothing other than sit here. All right, refresh my memory. Those 100 shares are purchased at 41.09, which is right there. We're right back to 41.09 here. And I still see no heavy volume coming into the market at all this morning. The highest volume I've seen in any one individual session is right here, and that was 37,000 shares. That's fair, but that's not normal like the 50, 60, 70, 80,000 shares in a session that I'm used to seeing in the morning. These are very, very small movements in comparison. Total day volume is 2.5 million shares so far. Working its way up. We're at 41.22. I'm getting ready to close this position out here and see if I can make a profit here. $41.28, $41.31. Now with what I'm seeing here, as you can see all these green bars here, I want to see if I can make a little bit more than $41.34 per share. I mean, make this trade worth my time, but I want to make at least $41.34 per share. Strong push all the way back to 41.20. Wow. 41.32 down to 41.20. Craziness. Look at the top wick. Look at the top wick on that green bar there. You see how much downward sell pressure there was against that movement? Okay, here we are at 41.36. I'm over, it touched over my sell value. But with this kind of upward trend, I want to see if we can go higher. So I'm taking a little bit of risk here on camera just for you guys to see some of the stuff that I go through. I could confirm this order and have it automatically sell the second that it hits 41.34, but I don't want to do that. I think that this might rally up higher. And here we go, 41.40, 41.41. Wow, again, strong. It's getting resistance as people are trying to rally it up. Still above my minimum sell limit. Oh, it was anyway. Now it's, okay, here we go again. 41.45. So tempting. So tempting. That was an additional 11 cents on those shares. That would have been another $11 there. As you can see, no matter what I do, I'm not going to make a fortune on a lot of 100 shares. Every 10 cents is only $10. Like it would have to go up an entire dollar. Okay, look at this activity. I could have sold up there at 41 something. I thought it might go higher, and it didn't. It bounced right back down to 41.23 again, where it looks like it's trying to correct up again. So I'm going to sit here with my finger on the trigger this time. And I'm going to see about cashing out of this just to close it, get my capital back, log a small win for the day, and move forward. Because this is starting to get a little bit ridiculous here. In fact, I'm going to confirm this order, okay? I'm going to lock the order in so that I'm not holding it manually. So here we go again. I have my I have my limit sell locked at 41.34. The second that this moves over 41.34 again, my limit will sell. And I will get my capital back as well as my profit, and then I will be moving on with my day. There we go. That should have closed right there. I got a delay in the activity, but it did close. Okay, there's my sell limit completed, 41.34. So I will add that. To my list of wins. So now I'm up for the day of, now I'm up for a total of $100 today. I just wanted to get that closed and out of the way. I don't care if it goes past there. I hedged a bet just because I didn't know whether the market was going to go back up or whether it was going to go back down. So now I'm free to move on. The only trade I have open is that one from days ago. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. I also have the trade from this morning open, which I forgot about. So that's fine. That's a different story. So let's go back to potential buying. Even though I can tell you right now, looking at this activity today, I am not buying in anywhere in this range, 41.36. We're right in the middle of whether it's going to go up or whether it's going to go down. And no matter what happens, whether it goes up, I don't want to make a small profit. I want to make a huge profit. So I want to wait till it goes down, bottoms out, and then I want to load up on shares for the day. And we are at 10 minutes after 7. We are 40 minutes in, and the day volume is still only 3.3 million shares. That's low, just for reference. Sometimes it's well over 8 million by 40 minutes in. Not today, though. Now, I'm looking at this activity and I'm either gonna set up to take a short break for a little while and let the morning play a little bit to see where the market goes today, or I might employ some micro trading just to see if I can make small wins successively, one after another. Not really feeling a big passion for the micro plays right now, though. It was fun when I was first doing it. I was sitting here in front of the computer executing up to 30 trades a day, all successful, all micro trades. And when I say micro, I'm talking about buying 100 to 250 shares and then making 10 cents per share and selling them off. And that's it. Micro trades. And then I would do 20 to 30 of those, and I would accumulate a few $100s in doing that. The problem is that if there's a way that I'm going to lose money or get money tied up and held in trades, it's going to be with that kind of trading, trying to get tiny, tiny, tiny movements. It's way easier to get huge movements on the volatility than it is to try to set up and get 10 cents per share here and there. As you can see on that last trade that I did, that would be considered a micro trade, by the way. I went from 41.09 to 41.34. That's only 25 cents per share, and that's not a lot. That's what I would consider to be a micro trade, since I'm throwing the term out there. All right, I'm seeing a heavy sell here again. If you're noticing here, back down to 41.18 again. It looks like it's continuing down. Okay, again, we're down to below $41 per share. Again, there was an opportunity for me to potentially buy, but I want to stress this because I don't feel I'm doing it justice. I see these big significant drops, and I'm very quick to rush in with a new position. And this is a habit that I'm trying to get over, because as you can see, had I bought in there, we're still continuing down. $40.66 we're down to now. Okay, we have gone way below this previous resistance of $40.88, and we are now on a downward free fall, $40.57. Look at that volume that just came in. 92,000 shares. Did you see that? 92,000 shares, and most of them selling. This is clearly going to set a very low bottom for the day. Now, as you can see, the shares that I bought this morning at $41.79, we're already down more than $1 per share on those, down to $40.48. And this is part of the lesson. I'm glad that this is getting on camera and happening so fast so that you can see and understand just how fast things can change. I paid $41.79 for 250 shares. Now we're down to $40.43 and dropping. I'm not going to rush into adding more shares. I'm going to let this free fall as long as it wants, and I'm going to see where it ends up before it starts turning back. Inevitably, I am confident that it will reach a bottom, and then it will turn back. But in the meantime, I want to be present to catch that bottom, because that's where I want to really load up on shares. In fact, let me start setting up a buy. How many am I able to buy, first of all? 500 is good. 600 is good. 700 I could do, but that would actually put all of my capital into the market. And again, this is not a wise decision, so I don't want to put all of my capital in the market in case that I try to select a bottom that isn't really a bottom and it continues to go down even more. Down to $40.30, $40.19 I saw. Okay, and then a little bit of upward buy pressure. So let me start playing in this space. Let me add 250 shares here. Okay, because I don't know if it's going to keep going down or whether it's going to come back up. So just in case it comes back up, I bought another 250 shares at $40.36. You know, I don't know if it's going to rally and recover back up. So just in case it does, I'm in. I got some skin in the game. $40.36. I've also dollar cost averaged my early morning position. So let's look at that now. My early morning was 250 shares at $41.79. $41.79 times 250 equals $10,447.50. I just purchased another 250 at $40.36. That's $10.90. Add that to this total over here, 90 equals this figure here. Now I will divide by 500. And as you can see, my total dollar cost average now per share is down to $41.07. Now, do you see the significant difference between $41.79 and $41.07? What this means now is I could set up to sell all 500 shares in one round, in one go, the moment that the share price goes back up to $41.07, just to break even. Anything past $41.07 will ride into profit on the total of 500 shares. So that's a little bit of an insight as to how dollar cost averaging works. That play that I made this morning, that risky play of purchasing $41.79, as long as I don't sell these new 250 shares that I just bought for $40.36, as long as I don't sell them less than $41.07, it means that I can additionally sell the old 250 at $41.07 or higher, and I won't lose money. And that's rule number one in trading, by the way. We do not lose money. We may get it held, but we don't lose it. That means we don't sell at a loss. Now, one of the other reasons I bought those 250 shares was, in addition to dollar cost averaging, is just in case the market has reached a bottom, which we don't know yet. If it has, then I wanted to be able to have a position in that bottom there. What I'm doing right now is I'm allowing some more time to pass. We're at 7:20 a.m. I'm allowing more time to pass on purpose to see if the bottom has been reached or whether it's likely to go down even further. Yesterday, if you were paying attention, the bottom of the day occurred at around 20 after 8 in the morning, which is about another hour from now. But not every day is the same. So I can't just look at what happened yesterday as a guarantee of what's going to happen today. What I do suspect is that there is going to be a bottom. I just don't know where it is. That's why I tested it with 250 new shares. If I see a lot of sideways activity here, followed by a slow incremental increase, I may additionally add another 250 shares in order to further reduce the cost of my early morning buy of 250 shares, get a better lower dollar cost average on all 750 shares. And then as a basket of 750 shares, I may just allow it to sit all day, hoping that the market trends up, and sell all 750 shares at a healthy profit for the day, and close my day and move on till tomorrow. But I'm just sharing now different things that I'm thinking about. It's all potentiality. In case you don't know me personally, I've got very high interests in things like quantum physics, quantum probability, and stuff like that. So my brain tends to race with simultaneous potential outcomes. Back up to $40.45. So the shares that I purchased so far at $40.36, they're holding from what I see so far. The value is bouncing up and down, but it's not plummeting, thankfully. It's not plummeting back down a lot lower than where I bought in at $40.36. So I'm feeling pretty confident so far. Not confident enough yet to add another 250 shares though. Okay, I got a little bit of confidence, but not super confidence. It's still likely that this market could drop a significant amount more. I may have mentioned in yesterday's session, I've sat here and watched share values of AI drop $5 and more in a single day. And so I want to make sure that I'm not catching a run on the way down of dropping $5. We started at we left a high of 41.85 up here this morning. So if AI decides to go down to $36 or $35 today, I don't want to be having all my money in at $40 and above. As you can see here, I want to point this out. I still have $19,700 of free cash in order to continue employing dollar cost averaging, should it go lower than it is. Or if I want to double down and add to my position, I can do that as well. I have some options. That's what I'm showing you here. All right, so I'm seeing a lot of sideways activity here. So I'm thinking now might be a decent time to take a short break and give the market a little bit of time to work itself out, see what it wants to do. I have a little bit of skin in the game now. I've got 2 lots of shares of 250 each at an average cost of 41.07. But the market is going sideways. Now might be a decent time to take a short break. I will return shortly. All right, I am back. Let's have a look at what's going on here. Ooh, let's get in on this. I want to point something out here. The person who was teaching me how to trade, first of all, let me do something here. Okay, I just quickly bought another 250 shares. I'll explain why in a minute. So let me log those 250 shares at 40.61. $40.61, and now I've got to recalculate my dollar cost average. Now let me explain what I just did here. I had to move quick because I didn't want to miss this. The person training me, as you can see, this graph here, this is called a VWAP indicator, volume weighted average price. And because of this sideways movement, which indicates to me that we may have seen a bottom reached today, it's still too early to tell, but just in case, when we see this here, when we see an upward trend of 2 to 3 green bars pushing into the bottom of the VWAP with a little bit of volume coming in, that is one of the best places. Make sure you make a note of this. That is one of the best places to enter a buy, which is why instead of explaining it to you first and then doing it, I just went ahead and did it. I wanted to get more skin in the game. I wanted to get another 250 shares there because a lot of times buys in, look at this chart here. A lot of decline followed by a slow creeping up and then 2 or 3 bars going into the bottom of the VWAP. 9 times out of 10, this results in a very profitable trade. It is likely, what did I pay on those? $40.61. It is likely before the end of this day is complete, provided that the market recovers, or provided that the share values recover from this drop today, it is likely to go past $41.60 and maybe even higher, up to closer to $42 again by the end of the day. And when it does that, that one single trade there of 250 shares will make me over $300. Now, when I combine it with the earlier 250 shares that I purchased at $40.36, that's even better. But what I want to do now is I want to take I want to get my total dollar cost average for all of the shares that I purchased today. And I want to add them all together. So 10,152.25 plus 10,0968 plus 41.79, so 10,447.5 0.50 equals. Okay, now this is dollar cost averaging that I'm showing here. So I'm taking all 3 lots of 250 shares. I'm taking the total purchase of all 750 shares, and I'm going to divide this total now by 750. And as you can see, my total dollar cost average now on all 750 shares has gone down from $41.79, which I purchased this morning, and I've got the entire lot down to $40.92. Okay, that's quite a big difference. I've almost reduced the cost of my first 250 shares by a full $1 per share. Now, if you look over at the market here, you see that we're already back up to $40.64, which means that as long as I sell all 700 shares as a collective group at least $40.92, let's round it up to $40.93, then I at least know that I'm breaking even for the day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a bar so that I can track this. And I'm going to set that bar at $40.93. All right, but let me color that bar. Let me color that bar red. Okay, so I just put a graphic bar on my screen there just so you can see that. I just went ahead and put a graphic bar on my screen and set it to minimum price of $40.93, just to give myself a visual indication of the absolute lowest point that I can sell all 750 shares that I've purchased today at a break-even point. Obviously, I'm not going to sell them there. I just want to be able to keep my eye on this. So as the market recovers, as you can see, which is happening right now, we are almost back above the break-even point for my total of 750 shares. And now I want to see if I can make a total profit on all 750 shares. And this allows me to calculate a reasonable amount, which I may as well do next. So my break-even point is $40.93. If I want to make a 2.5% increase on my total shares today, then I will take that value and I will multiply it by 1.025. And as you can see, that to get 2.5%, I would have to sell all 750 shares at $41.96. So now I'm going to set another indicator at $41.96. Okay, which as you can see is way up here. And now I'll cover that one green. Okay, so I've got 2 visual indicators here. I've got one in a red line to indicate my break-even point on my total shares purchased today. And then I've got another indicator set at $41.96 to represent where I would have to sell my 250 shares in order to gain a 2.5% profit. There's something magical in my head that I created about having a 2.5% profit on my trades. Maybe I'll share more of that as time goes on. But I like, in all possible situations, if I can make at least 2.5% on my transaction, I feel as though I'm doing well. Now, part of the reason for that 2.5% is it's based on what I've seen the woman who's trained me in trading do. She typically closes she has some trades that are closing above 5%. So I said, well, if you're doing that, then 2.5% should be easy. It should be a cakewalk. Now, as you can see so far, we just crossed over the break-even point today at $40.93, $40.95. Now, obviously, I'm not in a hurry to sell my position at all. As far as I'm concerned, I'm just getting started in the day here. Okay, I have a total of 750 shares to sell. Look at it. Look at what's happening here. It's shooting up back to 41.08, 41.08. So it's still early in the day, and I'm not expecting it to completely bolt all the way up to 41.96. But at the same time, if this spikes up, I don't have to sell it at 41.96. I can sell it any time right now at a profit. But if it kind of lands somewhere around here at 41.40, 41.50, then that might be a reasonable time for me to sell off my position for right now, instead of holding out for 2.5%, just in case it turns back down, because we're still early in the day, right? It's only 7:45 a.m. It could turn down again and drop either back to the bottom where we started this morning. It could either go back down here within the next hour and a half, or it might even go lower in the next hour and a half. So I'm going to sit here for the next little while, and I'm going to see if I can cash out all 750 shares on a peak if it looks like it's going to turn around and go down. But I won't know that unless I'm in the moment, watching the market, looking for the volume of movement, looking for things like candle wicks. Remember, I pointed those out yesterday. If I see strong sell pressure against buying, representing incredibly large top candle wicks on green candles, then that's an indication of a potential peak, and I may want to sell off my 750 shares and take my profit. But at this stage of the game, I am above my break-even point, and we have so much trading day left for this to keep trending up that I am starting to feel a very happy and confident mood right now. I know that I'm not in a loss for the day today, but I'm also not yet at a ready to close significant win. I'm up $100 so far, but like I said at the beginning of this video, Tuesdays, I've been fortunate to see over $1,000 days on every Tuesday in the past 2 weeks. And I want to make this week number 3, and I'm hoping that you can share in my success and celebration and victory here by watching me do it as well, to exceed $1,000 in a day. Now, to me, that's equivalent to more than a full-time work week of what I was doing before. All right, I think I've set up things pretty well here. I've set these 2 ranges here. I just want to show you before I take off here. I've set these 2 ranges. Here is the minimum, 40.93. Here's what I want to see to sell, 41.96. And things did go up, and then now they're starting to go sideways again, and maybe even potentially down. It's still, again, it's too early to tell, but I am feeling good about where we are at time-wise in the morning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and I will return shortly, and we will see how the market plays out today. And I am back to take another look at what's going on. Let's go and take a look. Okay, there's some interesting stuff going on so far today that I can see. The volume is still low. I'm looking at the volume here in the past little bit, and we're still at a low volume, so I don't like seeing that the volume is so low. We are quite a bit above my break-even point on my total shares. I'm going for this line up here, but the only way to get there is with massive amounts of volume. coming into the market, which I'm not seeing. And also what I'm noticing here is, as you can see, we're at the top portion of the volume weighted average price index. And like I said earlier in the morning, one of the best points to get in the market is when we are just coming into the bottom of the VWAP with a strong green bars, which was represented here. And then typically we want to sell somewhere near the top of the VWAP index, which we've reached. And now, as you can see, the market is starting to trend back down. So what I'm observing here is an indication that it might be in my best interest to consider selling and taking a profit and then waiting a bit longer in the day to see what happens. As much as I want to get up to this line here and close a 2.5% profit, I also have to consider that at this point of the day, at 7:57 a.m., we might actually reach a peak here for a while in the day and then start declining all the way back down, which we still have a lot of day to potentially set up for me to rebuy another position at a new low to basically rinse and repeat my cash and do the exact same thing over again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit here for a few minutes now and watch this market actively. I'm going to see if this wants to keep trending up past the top of the VWAP, at which point I may decide to sell out. I'm going to take a risk by selling it out before it reaches this line up here, just in case that the market turns down again, because I would rather catch the market on another bottom. I prefer that rather than riding through the bottom in order to bounce back up and recover later in the day. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to hope that the downtrend has not already started, which I see that it sort of has. I'm going to see if we can bounce back up to the top of this VWAP again, so that I can potentially exit my transaction. This was up here at 41.30, so let's go 41. Let's go 41.25. And if we hit that, it's going to be for all 750 shares. All 750. Because my average price for all 750 shares was $40.93. So selling them at 41.25, that'll give me a profit. It won't give me a huge profit, but it'll give me a significant profit. Okay, here we go. The market suddenly came up to 41.30 without any warning at all. And we are now touching the top of the VWAP. But it's on an upward shot of these two green spikes, so I don't want to immediately sell it at 41.25 and cut my profits down if it intends to keep climbing higher. So let's just watch how this plays out. 41.34, 41.36. We're now above the VWAP line. And this, above the VWAP, is where you would want to sell these transactions that you entered at the bottom of the VWAP. That's the main point behind using the VWAP indicator, is to allow you an idea of when to buy and sell. Now I'm seeing this green spike here, and I'm liking what I'm seeing, but I'm not sure whether it's going to continue to go. It's way too early in the day to tell. 41.53. Is it going to keep going higher? No. I'm going to confirm this order. Okay, I just closed my position in seeing that red bar drop back down, because I don't know what it's going to do. And like I said, if it continues to go down, I want to be able to capitalize on it. So let's take that total 31.28.25, and let's minus the costs of all my positions today. There was this one at 40.61, 10,152.25. There was this one at 40.36, 10,090.68, and then there was this one from down here, 41.79, 10,447.50 equals. All right, so as you can see, on this one transaction, I have made $337.82. I'm going to add that up here. What I've done is I've taken all 3 buys, combined them at 40.93, and I sold at 41.37. And so I locked in that profit of $337.82. Done. I am up almost I am up over $400 today so far. And if you can see this crazy activity in the market, you see what is happening right now? I made a good decision by selling those shares, because look what's starting to happen. The market is starting to turn back downward. And it may continue to go down. We don't know. But this is the reason that I decided to sell early and take my profit there, just in case we see this downward trend continue. Because if it continues to where it normally could go around 9 to 9:30 in the morning, continues to go back down to the bottom, then I can load up my guns a second time for the day. I'm already up over 400. I can load up my guns again on a bottom run a second time, and then I can give it the rest of the day to creep back up again and potentially cross quite a bit past my $1,000 goal for the day. So again, it's too early to tell how this day is going to play out. But I am happy that I've made more than enough money that I need to live today. Again, though, we know what the goal is, and that is to turn my $50,000 into $1 million. And I want to accomplish that by December 31st, 2023. You heard it here. You heard me state it. You probably heard me state it over and over. So at this point, I've got no active skin in the game other than this old sell at 42.87. That is another story entirely. I can now take this marker off. I can take both of these off. What I'm doing now is I want to see another point in the day where I can get involved in a trade. But I also want to give some time to the day to see where things go. So again, I took a risk. I took a risk that it might drop because I don't know if it's going to drop or not. But just in case it does, I want to be ready to load up my guns again. We are at 8:06 a.m. in the morning. So with this activity here, I am going to take a pretty decent break. I might go for a walk and do some other things, but I will be back hopefully within the next couple of hours to continue this day. All right, I am back after a 3-mile walk. I've had a shower. I am clean, I am smelling good, and I am ready to have a look at the markets. Are you ready? Are you ready to see what happened? I'm ready. Let's go have a look. Wow. What? $43.74? Excuse me. Excuse me for just a moment. Yes! 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 Woo! Oh! Oh my goodness, people. Oh my goodness. I'm going to explain exactly what this means, what I'm looking at in the market. Now, if you remember yesterday, the first thing that I said was, most of my profits tend to happen when I'm not even here. Okay? I went out to enjoy my day and I come back to this. Now, let me explain why I'm so happy, because if you remember correctly, let's go back here. Earlier in the day, I was holding on 750 shares right down in this area here. And I didn't know, I didn't know whether we were going to see this kind of activity here. So I sold all 750 shares there when I could have come back and sold them here and here. But you know what? I'm not concerned about that, and I'll tell you why. Here's the thing. Because I knew I was going to be taking a significant break from the market, and I had no idea what was going to occur, I also realized shortly before I left, I don't have any active open sell orders, except for the one way up at 42.87, right? But I don't have any skin in the game. So what I did was, let me take you to my activity here. What I did was I bought another 250 shares just to give myself a little bit of protection. I bought 250 shares at $41.24. Okay? I bought those during this dip here. And the reason that I did that, just so that I'm clear, is if the market continued to go down, then I could dollar cost average my way back. But if the market continued to go up, like it has, and I didn't have any skin in the game, especially since I sold my 750 shares. And by the way, I sold those shares at $41.39 when I could have gotten an extra $2 per share. That would have been an extra $1,500. Let's ignore that for now. Let's concentrate on the win that I had enough wisdom to put in a new buy at 250 shares for $41.24. And then, if you remember what I said earlier, I like to see an average of a 2.5% return. So let's go to my activity here. If you see my market buy here at $41.24, here's my market buy that I put in just before I left this morning to go out. $41.24. And then I put an automatic sell limit on that order at a 2.5% increase. I put them on the market for $42.28. And you can see we went way beyond that. So that order completed, okay? That order completed, and we can take the 10,570 and we could subtract the 10,311. 15, and I still added $258.85 to my balance, $258.85 for the day. Oops. 42.28 equals, what was that? 258.85. Now, here's another bonus on the cake. You see this old order that I had for $42.67? Well, guess what? The market went up so high that it sold off that share as well, and that share is so old. That value is so old that I can't even see it on my chart this morning because it was from days ago. But as you can see, it is no longer pending to sell. It is now in my account, and my cash in my balance is a full capital realization of $51,643. So far this week is turning out good. So I am completely out of the market right now. Now let me calculate, before I get too far ahead of myself, let me calculate what I made on that. That was $42.67. And I sold at $42.87, which means that I made 20 cents per share times 250 shares. So that's an extra $50 right there. Did I close that? So I am in the green. I am completely flush for the day. So far, so good. And the best thing is I am completely out of the market. So what that means is we are still early in the day. Now the share value is riding high at $43.07. I don't know what's going to happen. It's been as high as $43.75. It got up to almost $44 today. And then it dropped back down to a low of $42.69. And here it is rallying up. So where I'm at right now is, considering I have all my capital back, considering the share value is this high, $43.12, I have two options. I can call it a day and wait to see if the market drops, because I don't suspect it's going to stay up at $43.20 for very long. There's likely to be a steep recession when people see these prices. Or I go into microplay mode. Now, because these videos are new and the series is new and I'm trying to give you as much education and perspective as possible, maybe I will engage in a little bit of micro trading so that I can demonstrate that for you to watch. So what I'll do is I'll set up, just in case I feel like doing it. And in microplays, I'm typically looking to buy a lot of shares, a lot meaning a group. And I'm looking to make small wins on these. I'm not looking to make 2.5% on these. I'm looking to make 10, 15, 20, 25 cents per share on a micro trade. But I also see that right now we are currently on a uptrend. So $43.18. What time is it? It is 9:43 a.m. It is very early in the trading day. And look at this performance. Look at where we went from down here. I want to show you this. $40.21 on the bottom this morning. $43.74 on the top this morning. That is a difference of over $3.50 per share, my friends. If you had 100 shares, that's $350 profit in about an hour and a half. And just to think, all of this activity happened when I wasn't even sitting here at my computer watching the screen. But as you can see, if I had the vision to sell higher, go for 3%, go for 3.5%, that could have been achieved as well. Anyway, wow, I'm feeling good, man. Let's do a quick total of what I'm up today so far. 50 plus 75 plus 337.82, 25, 258.85. So you can see I'm at a total of 746.67. $746.67. I am up $746.67 today. It is a decent day. I did state at the beginning of this day that I would like to see 1,000 minimum. And just so you know, a 2.5% gain on a balance of $50,000 is $1,250. So that should be the appropriate goal, is $1,250. But 1,000 I won't sneeze at either. Not that I'm discouraging 700, that's good too. But I'm going to see if I can switch into a new mindset of microplays to see if I maybe can't creep my way up past the $1,000 level today. But in order to do that, I'm going to have to see a downward trend, and that is not happening right now. You can see that we peaked out, we troughed, we peaked out again, we troughed, we peaked out again, and we troughed again. All of these areas, by the way, would have made decent microplays. If I had been here present and saw this drop from here to here and this sideways movement, I would have tested a buy-in here just before this, would have sold, made a profit. And then on this recession, I might have done it again and made another profit. And then I would have either sold out or got stuck, and then all this, and then it's gone up again. So a little bit of charting visually going on here. I am not in a position right now of strength to do anything as far as buying in. So I'm going to take another break, celebrate a little bit, maybe do some meditation in the morning, and I'm going to be back in just a little bit. We're at the important part of the day now. We're past it, 9:47 a.m., where heavy players tend to come in between 9 and 10 o'clock, and you can see that represented down here. You can also see at 8:30, somebody came in heavy and triggered this whole run up here. Anyway, more education as we go, but I'm taking a break here right now. I'm going to do maybe 20 minutes of silent meditation, come back and see if I have an opportunity to do a microplay. Stay tuned. The day's going good so far, and I hope to demonstrate some more success. All right, I am back taking another look at the market to see where we are at today. And if you notice right here, wow, it keeps continuing to go up. This is a crazy day. $44.44 on a high today. Now, I want to remind you once again, I sold 750 shares way down here earlier in the day before this drop happened because I was concerned. And then look at all this that has happened since. I mean, this is just a crazy day. It is unexpected. You know, there's no way that I could have predicted that this would happen. And I am looking for an opportunity now to get into micro trading. And I'm not seeing a lot of opportunity. When this share value is this high, $44, I want to show you historically, we have never been over 44. We have never been as high as $44. Let's look at 3 months. Okay, we went to a high of $48.89 on Friday, June 16th. That was the last time that we ever saw a share value of over $44, unless you count this on the way down. There was a day here. And even this day here, 2 days after, it wasn't over $44 for very long. So as you can see, once it gets into the 43 plus range, we see a slide. And when that slide happens, it happens fast, it happens aggressively, it happens ugly. And as you can see over here from Friday, June 16th, 2023, at 48.77, we went all the way down to a low of 32.09, which is $16 per share, man. And that occurred on Monday, June 26th, okay? So that's 10 calendar days, which is actually only about 8 to 10 trading days, because there were some US stat holidays mixed in there as well, where the actual markets were closed. So getting back to today's activity, I am looking for the opportunity to micro trade. And the only way that I can see that is if I see a significant drop. But in order to make an effective micro trade, you have to have the market go back up. And right now, what I'm seeing at $44.12, I do not have confidence that it is going to keep going up. And even if it does, it doesn't matter because I don't have money in the game at this point. And it also doesn't matter because we are likely any moment now, it could be today, it could be tomorrow, it could be the next day, we are likely to see a reduction in value from $44 likely it could plummet all the way down as low as $37, $36 again. Again, I don't know. But what I do know is that during my experience for the past several weeks, I have a bad habit of trying to do something when the market is skyrocketed this high, trying to get involved and trying to find a way to make money, instead of just stepping back and saying, you know what? Today is not a trading day. Value's too high. Either look at a different stock, which I could do. I haven't even looked at other companies today because they're hidden behind the view of my camera. I haven't even looked at other companies. Amazon, Google, Tesla. Oh, look at Tesla is down to $261 a share. Let's have a look at this. Look at Tesla. Tesla was over here at $269 not long ago. It dove down to $263. It climbed back up to $268. And now look at it. It has been having a downward trend. And today it got as low as $260. Now, as much as I love Tesla, I'm not a fan of Elon Musk, by the way, just so you know, but as much as I love Tesla, look at the share value. It's $260 per share. In order for me to make money in Tesla, I would have to plug in $25,000 to $40,000 at a time just to buy 100 shares and then hope that it goes up $5 or $6. I'm not willing to do that right this moment today. So as much fun as it would be to explore another company, I think I'm going to stick here. And the share value of AI, I'm just going to cut to the chase. It's kind of putting me in a position where I feel like there's no healthy thing to do right now except for me to let the day play out and give AI some time to figure out what's going on at this valuation of $44. I certainly do not have a hope that it's going to keep going up from $44. I do not think that this company merits that. So that's just my perspective and my opinion. And it's also based on what I've observed over the past 6 to 8 weeks. This is definitely a high moment for AI, and it's all on video here, and I'm glad so that you can see it and so that I can share this perspective that I have of what I've observed with you about it. And I'm going to go with my gut on this, and I'm going to learn from my previous mistakes, and I am going to stay out of shares of AI, at least for the foreseeable future. That may be the rest of the day, by the way. So I don't know yet. We're at 10:15. There could be a significant plummet in the next 1 to 2 hours, and maybe I can come back and find a position to consider getting in. But at this point, I think that I am going to just take a break from trading. I don't want to mess around too much trying to do micro trades at this level, because even if I buy just 100 shares for 4,000 or 5,000, having that money tied into a trade that I may not be able to get out of today, and then to see the share values plummet, there's two bad things about that. Number one is I have another trade that's open and active and that I am held in, that I need to wait until shares of AI ever come back and see $44 again. And that could be weeks. Number two is if the cycle of AI continues as it has, and we do see a multiple dollar per share drop over the next 24 to 72 hours, then, my friends, that is going to present a very powerful potential of buying opportunity to start catching the ride back up from its crash. And that is what the history of AI has done. That is exactly what AI has done for the past several months. It has gone up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. up and down. And here it is, even here, up, down, up, down, up, down. And here it is, up. You know, the writing is on the wall. There is likely, the chances are greater that there is a crash coming around the corner than the odds that it's going to continue to climb up at this point. Look at it. It is all green right now. There is no red in sight. So in my opinion, we are close to seeing that. So I am going to go with my gut. I'm going to take a break. I'm not signing off on the day yet. I will come back in order to do that if it turns out that there is no activity today. But in the meantime, I'm just going to enjoy doing something else today for a little while. And I'm going to come back maybe in an hour or two and see where things are at. Stay tuned. We'll see how this day plays out together. All right, I'm back. I am watching the market today, and I previously said how I feel about the valuation being this high. And then I noticed that we are getting, you know, it's bouncing back and forth from a high of 44.45 back down to 43.84, back up to 44.37, back down to 43.92, 43.90, and then back up to 44.37. So there is room for micro trading in here. And I feel like seeing if I can find an opportunity to demonstrate what that looks like, just so that in case you're interested, you can see what that looks like when I do it. Because there are swings here happening that are easily 25 cents a share, 25 to 35 cents a share. So I'm thinking to myself, with these fluctuations, there's room here to be making 25 cents profit per share. If I can find a good place to enter on the way down. So I'm going to play small with this because I'm not going to go big on this, but I'm going to set up and load up for buying 100 shares of AI. I'm going to give it a few minutes here, and I'm going to see if I can catch it on the way down. And then I'm going to see if I can capitalize 10, 15, 20 cents per share. It's not going to be a big win. It's going to be 10, 15, or $20 on the total trade, but it'll be a win. That is, unless I buy in and then all of a sudden the stock begins to plummet. And that's the reason why I'm keeping the share value so small. On one hand, I want to demonstrate to you while you're here what micro trading looks like. On the other hand, I want to keep as much money out of AI as possible and wait for the inevitable, which is a tremendous buying opportunity, which is we're set up to see pretty soon. So let's keep an eye on what's going. We had a high up here of $44.35, and that was lower than this high of $44.44. So it's starting to trend down. Even though it's going sideways, it's trending down already. So I need to pay attention. If I'm going to try a micro trade, I'm going to want to get out before $44.36. And I'm going to want to wait to get in as long as possible and as low as possible. These low bottoms are looking at 43.86, 43.91. So right around the $43.90 range and lower. Let's say limit buy $43.90. Now I'm not doing a limit sell here. I'm going to try a limit buy. And this means that it will not buy shares until it drops below a certain value. And so in this case, 43.90 looks like it was the bottom here. So I'm just going to stick to 43.90. I'm going to put 100 shares. Buy AI. Now this is a limit buy, which I'm setting up, and I'm not committing to this, by the way. I'm just keeping my finger on the trigger, locked and loaded, ready to go, so that if I suddenly see the share value drop by a significant amount, I can commit to these 100 shares and then hopefully make a small profit and a small victory on 100 shares. And then that will effectively demonstrate a micro trade for you. In the meantime, we are sitting here chilling, listening to the ambient textures of Harris Heller Stream Beats. Oh, I love this music. Let's see if we can get a micro trade in, a successful one. At least one. Down to 44.06. If I'm going to try micro trading, I want to see it a fair bit lower than 44.07. $44. Getting ready here. Now this limit buy wouldn't work at $44 anyway. It would have to go down to at least $43.90. Now what I'm observing again, just to point this out, is I'm observing what is called consolidation, okay? The highs and the lows, the volatility between the high points and low points, it's getting narrower and narrower and narrower. It's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. So this is not a healthy place to consider a buy-in. I want to make that very clear. I'm only doing it just to have a bit of fun and to play around and to hopefully show you what a micro trade transaction looks like. But while I'm observing this consolidation here, this is not looking like it's going to give me a lot of flexibility for executing a decent trade. And we're at that time of day again where there's literally no volume, which is moving the share value anywhere. We're at a total daily volume of 19.5 million shares, which has exceeded the average volume for the day, which has dropped down to 18.7 million shares for the total day. So considering where we started this morning at, remember this morning was 500,000 shares almost within the first hour of the day. We have seen some significant volume since the morning. We're at 19.5 million shares, and it is only 10:30 in the morning. So it feels like the end of the day already, and it isn't even lunchtime yet. There are still 2.5 complete hours of market activity to occur today. And I'm seeing more consolidation. It is getting even tighter to buy and sell. Now, as much as I would love the opportunity to show and demonstrate a micro trade transaction, I do not want to buy 100 shares and then sell 100 shares for 5 cents on the share. There's just no point in doing something like that. $44.30. I am surprised it is starting to rally up again. Ooh, I did not see that coming. I was watching all this consolidation in the market here, like I was talking about, and look what happened. It just broke through all of its previous 2 levels, and even its one back here. Did it match it? It either tied it or is right on the verge of pressing through that last peak of 44.44. It's gone through at 44.47. So this stock is, believe it or not, is still trending up at this point. And there was a beautiful opportunity to make a micro trade transaction here, which I missed. Just sitting here, indecisive. So this $43.90, well, we can say goodbye to that. I'm not going to be getting in at that point. Not for a while. We're over We're back at $44.51, $44.55, and climbing. Look at the volume coming in. 40,000 shares. Current session, another 40,000 shares, 37,000. That's what's driving this share value up right now. Now, this is one of those things that I have not yet figured out and understood about watching while I'm trading. Who in their right mind out there on planet Earth right now is dumping in 50,000 shares of buying at a valuation of $44.51? Can you explain this to me? I'd like to know, because I don't understand why this type of volume, 40,000 and 50,000 shares, are coming in to buy when the share value is currently $44.50. These people are going to be screaming in a matter of minutes. Anyway, it's something that I haven't figured out. It's something that I do not understand. It's almost as if I'm watching people who want to lose money by buying in insane amounts at this level. Okay, we are on a downward trend again. Let me see if I can set up again for a potential micro play. Still going to go with a limit buy. This time I'm going to test it at 44. I'm going to test it at 44.15. Still going to keep it small at 100 shares because it went up to 44.61. If I could catch a play from 44.15 even to 44.40, we're looking at 25 cents on a share. And that would translate to a $25 profitable trade. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's what I'm setting up to hopefully accomplish. So 44.15 or lower, that's what I want to potentially buy in at. But not on the way down. I want to hopefully buy at that limit or lower on the way of what looks like it's going to go back up another 10 or 20 cents. So at this point, patience is the number one key. We are still continuing to hold at right around $44.40. I've not seen this in several weeks. And I also don't think that I've seen any instance where 44.40 has held for this long without becoming incredibly volatile. Ooh, there's the drop I'm hoping for right there. Let's see. See this drop, 44.16? Oh, it went all the way down to just about this sell or this buy limit order. There we go, 44.14. We're below 44.14. Now, I'm going to see if I can wait to get a little bit more of a reduction on here. Oh, there's some buying pressure coming. Okay, we're back above, so I missed that one. Could have got in there, but I was greedy, I was waiting. The biggest problem with what I'm trying to do here on these microplays is you never know when it's going to stop going down. Right, so I'm looking for what I think is a bottom resistance point of about $44.15. However, if I purchase 100 shares at 44.15 and then it continues to go down below $44, then I'm basically holding on to shares because it would have to come all the way back up to where I bought it at before I could even realize a potential profit. That's the biggest problem with micro trading, is it could go down by 10 cents and hand tie you. And I'm trying to avoid that, so I'm trying to approach this cautiously. And that is why I didn't immediately snap up that first buy at 44.15. There will either be another one, or I just will cancel and reassess. All right, we're back down below 44.15, and we are going even further down. 44.08. So let me try and buy an entry there. And I got 100 shares at 44.13, so 100 at 44.13. Now I want to sell these shares as quickly as possible. So let me set up a sell order on these. $44.13, so let me go 44. Let me go 44.25. Minimum sell of $44.25, and let's see what happens, just to see how this plays out. Okay, again, I'm not looking for a huge landslide of a win here. I'm just looking for an extra 10 or 20 bucks if I can get it. Again, this consolidation is pretty tight right now. So unless some other crazy buyer comes in with heavy buying volume, I don't expect to see this climbing up very high. Now, this last peak was at 44.60. So I'm thinking that 44.25 is doable. It's already back at 44.19. Now my sell is 44.25, but what I would like to see is 25 cents. So that is 44.38 would be where I would like to sell it at. But if I can get 44.25, that's fine. See, now right about here what's happening is, as I mentioned earlier, last thing I want to do is I want to buy 100 shares trying on a micro trade at one point and then have it drop below that point and keep going down, which I just saw it cross below my buying point of 44.13. I saw it dip down to 44.12 and I think even lower. And there it goes again, 44.12, 44.10. I don't like seeing that right now because I bought at 44.14. I bought higher than that, 44.13. So micro trades are so difficult to close at a profit. That's why I'm not putting a lot of money in it. I'll put some because it takes money to make money, unfortunately, in this game. But that being said, I'm looking at this consolidation here and I'm like, I don't like what I'm seeing for consolidation. It's literally flatlined out. And I'm hoping that there's still a little bit of juice and steam for somebody to come in and bump it up another 25 to 35 cents a share. And maybe I can catch this on luck. Okay, so right now I am effectively gambling. That is what this is. This is gambling. The odds are not in my favor right now. And I'm still intending to make a profit. Flatlined, 44.20. Currently, the value is not going up and it is not going down. It is just staying in between $44.10 and $44.20. And it doesn't want to do shit. I can promise you, it is not going to stay this way for very long. Oh, here we go. 44.25. Look at that. 44.25. Has it got any more in there? Nope. See if I can get that back. $44.25 is my close. It popped up there for a second and I held on just in case it wanted to go past, and it didn't. So I committed my sell order. Let's see if I can get my 44.25. There we go. Success. I have filled my order. All right, so that is a demonstration of a micro trade. Just to give you an idea, there were times weeks ago when I was doing what you just saw. I was doing that all day long, 20, 30 times a day, just making small wins and adding them all up. Let's see what I came out with here. So I've got 44.25 minus 44.13. I'm sorry, 44.25 minus 44.13.40. Okay, $11.60. Not a lot, but $11.60 is $11.60. It's a win. And like I said, weeks ago when my hands were tied and most of my capital was locked in the market, I was trying to make money just capitalizing on volume. Now look at this, it's gone back up to 44.32. You see what I mean? I was trying to make such a small, tiny amount and it went way past what I sold it at. 44.25, it went all the way up to, look at it, it's almost where I wanted to close it, right there, 44.38. I could have got a solid $25 on that play, but I did not. And you know what? Not a big deal, but I'm happy that I'm catching all this on video, just so you can see the crazy shit that goes on an average day. Okay, so if you're gonna think about messing around with trading, you're gonna go through all of this stuff too. I promise you. So I made $11.60 when I could have made $25, but hey, earlier this morning I made $387 when I could have made over $1,500. A win is a win is a win. So, you know, there's two ways to lose money in this game. There's losing based on buying too soon and having the market drop, but then there's losing money on selling too soon and having the market skyrocket, which it did today. I had absolutely no idea that it was going to exceed $44 today. I had hoped that it would get up to 43 to get me out of my previous trades, which it did. But I did not expect that I was going to see it go up above 43 onto $44. And now on this micro trade that I executed for you guys to watch, look at, we've gone all the way back to up to $44.45. Ouch. That's a little bit hard to take. And after me sitting here actively with you guys for just about 15 to 20 uncomfortable minutes, hoping that I would get a 10-cent swing, it then proceeded within 3 minutes to escalate all the way back up to 44.45. And that is part of the crazy that goes with trading. And it's one of the reasons I love what I'm doing, by the way. This drama, I don't know, it does something for me. As long as I don't have money tied in the market heavy, I can take all this in stride. It's a different story if I'm sitting on 500 to 600 to 700 shares and I feel like I'm in a position of being stuck. So this is just great. I'll add $11.60. What, I can buy dinner for myself tonight with that $11.60. I can go somewhere frugal. I can enjoy a small victory on an otherwise great day. Again, I was hoping to exceed $1,000 today, and there definitely was potential to do that. I just was unable to capitalize on it. I had no idea that this was going to occur. And then after I saw this, even though it was coming down, I had no idea it was going to stop its decline and start shooting up again. Just like right here, I have no idea what is coming for the remaining 2 hours of this day. That's all for now. I am going to take another break and I'm going to do something else because I'm not going to sit here trying to microtrade all day. I'm going to enjoy doing something else and I will be back shortly. Well, I'm back and I watched for the rest of the afternoon today and I could not see any fluctuation where I felt like I wanted to get involved. As you can see here, we not only went up above the $44 line, but we pretty much held up there for the remainder of the day. And surprisingly enough, it didn't drop down at all. So we're going to wait to see till tomorrow and see what happens. Even the post market is up even higher than the close. So interesting day, a very abnormal day. I am not used to seeing this kind of day. So unfortunately, that's it for today. I want to thank you for hanging out. You've been watching me here at Praxis Living. My journey to $1 million. I will leave a title card at the end of this video for the next session. Thank you for hanging out with me on session 3. If you've subscribed to the channel, again, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Until tomorrow, we'll try to make some more money tomorrow.